we are talking about judiciary. Right? We have started a topic called judiciary. Can you recall what we discussed in the last class? What we discussed in the last class, Priya? Priya, can you speak what we discussed in the last class about judiciary? I talked about that judiciary is independent. Yeah.
Sir, integrated judiciary.
It is integrated. Yeah. Priya. So it is independent, it is integrated, then yes, Shivani, go ahead. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, sir, yesterday class we discussed about Indian judiciary, which is independent and integrated. And also you told about pyramid structure of judiciary, that is a Supreme Court and High Court, then subordinate court, then Gram Panchayat. And you also told about that this judiciary get power from Constitution by article from 144 to 249.
124 to 147. If I remember correctly.
Yes, sir. 124 to 147. And we also discussed about United Nations judiciary, pyramid structure of that. So this all we discussed about, sir.
So Article 124 to 147 deals with power structure, right, of the judiciary.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
Shivani, we talked about differences between US and India. Right?
Yes, sir.
I talked about in India, in Supreme Court is integrated, judiciary is integrated and independent. At the top layer, there is a Supreme Court. Below the top, there is a High Court. Right? So where is Supreme Court is located? Sonia, you're left. Yeah. Where Supreme Court is located? Swati?
In
Supreme
Delhi,
Court is located at top, but where it is located geographically?
In Delhi.
Delhi, yeah, right. Yeah. Supreme Court is located in Delhi. High Court? Generally?
No.
Generally,
Generally, every capital of each state.
All states.
Generally, right? Right. And what about district court?
In all districts, sir.
In all district. Very good. And what is the subdivisional court?
In towns, maybe?
Yeah, towns. Yeah, you're right. You're in towns.
Oh.
It is in town. Very good. Very good. Am I not audible? Priya is making some query that I am not audible. Is it that I'm not audible, Shivani?
You're audible, sir.
Audible? Priya, look at, I'm audible. Okay, Priya, please just refresh yourself. District court is located in each street, each district headquarter. Right? High court in, capital city of each state. Generally, right? And what about Supreme Court? Located in capital of India. That is New Delhi. Right? New Delhi. Subdivisional court is located in town, basically. Right? And what about Gram Nyayalaya? Swati?
In villages, sir.
Yeah. At village level. Very good. And we saw that, so we compared Indian judiciary and US judiciary. If you look at Indian judiciary, it is integrated, right, and unified. It is integrated and unified, but here in US, it is a dual judiciary. In US, judiciary is not integrated, right? Abhinav, the UP High Court is in Allahabad, yeah, but there is a one branch in also in Lucknow. It's called Lucknow Session, yeah. Traditionally, High Court of Uttar Pradesh is located in Allahabad. You're right, Abhinav. But otherwise, there is also one session court. There is a one branch of the High Court located in Lucknow. Right? Now, if you look at, this is the differences. Here dual judiciary, here integrated and unified judiciary. What about UK? What do we follow in UK? Any idea about UK? Yes, Abhinav said, okay, sir, but it is not binding to have in capital. It is not that. But generally, if you look at Abhinav, High Court, they are generally located in the capital city of each state, right? And some exceptions are there. Some exceptions are there, of course. No, look at UK. UK may, it's called, regional judiciary. So, for example, for London and Wales, there is another judiciary. For Scotland, there is another judiciary. For Ireland, there is another judiciary. Right? But at the top, there is a Supreme Court. At the top, there are Supreme Court. Right? And Supreme Court is the final appeal of this regional court. Are you getting my point? This is in the UK. In UK, it is called regional court system. Right? Am I making sense, Swati, Priya?
Sir, in UK, the entire judiciary is called regional court system.
Regional court system. REGIONAL, regional court system. What is regional court system? There is a region. The entire area of UK is divided into 3 regions. One is Wales and London have a separate judiciary. Scotland has separate judiciary. And Ireland has separate judiciary. Northern Ireland. Yeah, Northern Ireland. Yeah. Ireland means here Northern Ireland. Am I able to convey? Hi, Sonia. Yes, Aman.
But the Supreme is the Supreme Court over all these regional courts.
Yeah, Supreme Court is above the regional court. Am I able to making sense? Like India, sir. In India, it's not similar, Swati. We don't have such regional division. We have a statewide. Swati, we have a statewide. Our area is too vast if we compare from UK. So we have a statewide judiciary, right? District court. Yeah, Shivani, go ahead.
So in UK, it is regional court system, right? So it is all under parliament law, or judiciary itself make its law?
No, even in India, judiciary does not make law. Judiciary is adjudicating the law. जो लॉ बन गया है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करा के अगर वो देखना है कि whether it is a just or not.
So, like in India, it is separate judiciary system. It is another separate organ of parliament, constitution, right? So,
Yeah.
same in UK, or okay.
Similar in UK,
Okay,
but
sir.
in UK there are, you know, 3 region, and 3 region has separate court, right? But the appeal court is the Supreme Court, and Parliament is to make the law, no? Hi Sonia, you joined late, and I hope you have not received the idea. We talked about a very basic idea about the judiciary. In India, judiciary is independent and integrated, right? So what do you mean by independent? It means it is independent of executive, from the executive and legislature. What does it mean by the independent? Indian judiciary is independent from executive and legislature. It is not dependent on, right? And what do you mean by integrated? Integrated means there is a hierarchy. Indian judiciary is paramedical hierarchized. At the top, there is a Supreme Court. Below the Supreme Court, there is a High Court. Below the High Court, there is a District Court. Below the District Court, there is a Subdivisional Court. Below the Subdivisional Court, there is a Gram Nyayalaya. That is the court system in India. It is integrated and independent, right? If you look at the part 5 of the Constitution, Article 124 to 147 deals with power, structure, right, process of the Supreme Court. If we look at the US has dual judiciary. What do you mean by dual judiciary? A state has its own court, and federal government has its own court. So in a state, it's called Supreme Court, right? But at the center level, it is called Federal Court. So Supreme Court, you know, the Federal Court cannot entertain the appeal from the Supreme Court, right? Got the idea? Here it's called dual judiciary. The state has its own High Court, then subordinate court, and then the Federal Court. The state court deals with the matter related in the state, any matter, whether it is a civil or criminal or anything, right? The state court judgment cannot be appealed in the Federal Court, unlike in India. What happened in India? Even there is a state court has given some, we call the High Court. If state court or High Court gives some judgment, it can be appealed in the Supreme Court, right? Here it cannot be appealed in the Federal Court. Then what Federal Court does? Federal Court supposed to solve the problem of federal matter. So Federal Court supposed to solve the matter of federalism, yeah. And that's why if you look at in federalism is very strong in US. Yes. Federalism is very strong in US. Sonia, you got the idea, the basic one? Since you entered late, so I thought I should clear you. Thirdly, in UK, it's called regional court system. The entire UK was divided into 3 parts. Right, entire UK has been divided into 3 jurisdictions. Right? In UK, there is regional court system, right? There are 3 regions, namely London and Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. right? Each region has their own judiciary. Their own judiciary. But their judgment can be appealed in the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court judgment can be terminated by the Parliament. Yeah, because in the UK Parliament is very much. So here you can say like India, three region court, now they are Supreme Court. Got the idea?
Sir, then can we say that the UK judiciary is not independent?
But in judiciary is not independent in the UK.
Because the Crown can terminate the...
Crown can terminate, the Parliament can terminate. Parliament, is sovereign. Sovereign in UK. Right? But in India, Parliament is not sovereign. What is sovereign in India? Swati? What is sovereign in India? Who is sovereign in India?
People, sir.
Yeah, on the behalf of people, Constitution.
Constitution. Okay.
On the behalf of people, Constitution. Right? You are right, the people, right? It's purely correct. Because we believe in we the people have made the Constitution. We the people of India constitute India into sovereign, socialist, democratic and republic. On the behalf of the people, Constitution. These are the basics information I have given to you. Am I clear till now? Priya, Shivani, Swati, Sonia. Now, Priya, you would be able to solve the question on judiciary, don't worry. Right? Either subjective or non-objective, no problem. So you got the idea? What is the judicial structure in US? What is judicial structure in the UK? What is judicial structure in India? Right? Now, let me tell you, if you look at judiciary, what is the basic work of judiciary? For example, Supreme Court. Right? Let me talk about Supreme Court. What is the basic work of the Supreme Court? Swati, Shivani, Priya, Sonia, Avinav. Tell me, what is the basic work that is assigned to the Supreme Court? If you look at the CA, Constituent Assembly, yeah.
So, basic work of Supreme Court is to defend the fundamental rights of people and to protect the laws. Means and judgment is the second basic work of Supreme Court, we can say. Defend the Constitution. Yes.
Then interpret the Constitution, right? Interpret the Constitution. Supreme Court is a final interpreter of the Constitution. Right? Supreme Court is a final interpreter of the Constitution. Priya has said that Supreme Court is assigned to solve the conflict between center and the state relations, right? Priya, I'm just I'm just taking your word, not as it is, but just remolding it. So to resolve the conflict, between states, or between the union and the state, right? ये तो है ही. Now if you look at, so this is called adjudication, right? It's called adjudication. Not only to resolve the conflict, but also societal conflict, right? To educate the law, adjudication, right? To now, Supreme Court is a custodian and guardian of the Indian Constitution. And if you look at the Supreme Court, it is a custodian and guardian of the Indian Constitution. You always keep in mind. The Supreme Court is a custodian. What do you mean by custodian? Protector. They are Papa. Papa, father. What father does, or what mother, parent does, parent protect their child, isn't it? Right? In similar way, the Supreme Court is a protector, guardian, custodian of the Indian Constitution. Right? Right? Sometimes it does, it checks the executive. Right? If you highest court of appeal, yes, you are right. It is the highest court of appeal. We will do that. But basic work is done by adjudication. Is a basic work. This one, 2, right, and 3. What Shivani has made. These 3 are the basic works, right? And also 4th, of course, you have seen that it interprets the Constitution, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see I have arranged it. The basic task given to the Supreme Court is to adjudicate the law, to protect the Constitution and protect the fundamental rights of the people and interpret the Constitution. These are the basic work. Did you get the idea? About little idea, right? I'll go deep in little later. Legislator is also interpreter of the Constitution of India, Shivani. You're right. The speaker basically, but the final authority is Supreme Court. The final authority is Supreme Court, right? What the idea?
But sir,
yes.
But sir, if legislature is not making law, how Supreme Court will protect the law?
The legislature is to make the law,
Yes.
right? Judiciary is to adjudicate the law. For example, whenever you come to the conflict with the law, or I may come to the conflict of law, judiciary may say that whether I have violated the law or not.
Yes, sir.
If I have violated, then it's an offense. If I have violated the law, then it's an offense, and judiciary may give punishment for it. Shivani.
Yes, sir. That side is custodian and guardian of the Constitution.
Yeah. So law तो अलग है, adjudication of the law. जो law है IPC, Indian Penal Code, right? उसको भी implement कराना है judiciary को, और it is also final interpreter of the Constitution. किसी के word का क्या मतलब है? Final interpreter is the Supreme Court. Final protector of the Supreme Court is the Supreme Court. Did I make simple meaning? Simple idea? Now, Now you need to write something, huh? Whatever we have talked about. One more thing before I go to the dictation. If you look at judiciary in India, history, if I go to the history, can you tell me when Supreme Court of was established in India? 1774. 1774, right? It was established in Calcutta, right? It was called Supreme Court, but its jurisdiction was only the town of Calcutta. But later on, its jurisdiction was, expanded, right? But the current judiciary, current Supreme Court, if you look at, their structure was established in Government of India Act 1935. It was called Federal Court. That time it was called Federal Court as a Government of India Act, as per the Government of India Act. Just information, very little information, right? But it was not highest court of appeal. Federal Court was not highest court of appeal. What was the highest court of appeal? It was Privy Council. Privy Council was located in UK. Privy Council was located in UK. This is the basic information I have given to you.
So, now, sir, our Supreme Court is a replacement of Privy Council. We can say like this.
Yeah. No. Since we have become independent, so there is no connection with the UK, right? And Federal Court was taken the space of the Supreme Court. It was renamed as a Supreme Court, and it became independent of any authority, executive or the Privy Council of the UK or anything. It became independent, right? Right? Okay, Shivani? Huh. And who was the first Supreme Court judge?
Imphe. Lord Imphe.
No, so, I'm not talking about 1774. I'm talking about 1950. I'm talking about 1950. After independent India or Republic India. Perhaps 24th January 1950, Supreme Court was inaugurated. 24th January 1950, Supreme Court was inaugurated, and Hiralal Kania was the first, CGI. Hiralal Kania was the first CGI. You was thinking this, okay, no problem, it's all right, it's all right. Guess करना चाहिए था, कोई बात नहीं. Yeah, H. Kania, Hiralal Kania. Right, and if you look at who is the present CGI, who is the current CGI? Chandrachud, right? Chandrachud, and he is, I think, 48th CGI. Nahi, Chandrachud is a 48th CGI in the Supreme Court. So basic information I have given you, that about the Supreme Court. Should I dictate little information? Swati, Shivani, Priya, Sonia, Avinav. Should I start dictation? Okay. Then now write. Yeah. Supreme Court, right. Right. The Constitution. The Constitution of India provides, The Constitution of India provides a single and integrated integrated judiciary, right? Integrated judiciary. Right? It is independent. It is independent from the executive and legislature. It is independent from the executive and legislature. In India, we have dual polity. We have dual polity like the US. In India, we have dual polity like the US, but we have, we have a single and integrated judiciary like Canada. Like कनाडा, जैसे हमारे यहाँ पर कनाडा में भी सेम है. But we have single and integrated judiciary like Canada. Right? Here, the Supreme Court is the apex court. Here, the Supreme Court is apex court and final authority. Final authority of appeal below the Supreme Court, there is High Court. And below of it, there is District Court. There is District Court. Below of it, there is Subdivisional Court, and further there is Gram Nyayalay. Gram Nyayalay. Clear? Right? Now, if you talk about judiciary, if you see the judiciary, the main function of judiciary is to educate the law, to adjudicate the law, to protect the constitution, to protect the constitution, right? And that's why it's called guardian, right? Custodian of the Indian constitution. Then, third मैंने क्या लिखवाया था slide में?
Defend the fundamental rights.
Yeah, exactly. Very good, very good. To defend the fundamental rights of the people. And fourth is interpret the constitution. This is the basic work of the judiciary, basic work. We'll go further, we will discuss further the more work. Clear hai Aman?
Yes.
Pakka?
Yes.
Swati? Shivani? Priya? Priya, clear hai? Pakka na? If you have any doubt, you can ask. No problem. I'll explain you 10 times. Don't worry. Present sir, present CGI 50th. Okay, fine. Thank you for updating me. मुझे लगा 48th हैं, but 50th हैं. कोई बात नहीं. Now, if you look at, I'll write something. Write the framework of Indian Constitution. The framers of Indian Constitution established a strong and independent judiciary in India. Right? It means judiciary is not committed. It means judiciary is not committed either to executive or to legislature right? It is independent from the both. From the both. ये दोनों से independent है. The judiciary is independent from the executive as well as from the legislature. Right? Article 124 to Article 147 explains power, functions, appointments, right? Procedures, and so on of the Supreme Court. of the Supreme Court. You know, even the salary of the judges are not dependent on the parliament. I told you, no? To expenditure charged upon, and expenditure made from. The Supreme Court, the judges' salary is done by whom? Which finance? CFI charged upon? Yeah. And it is not votable part in the parliament. It means, look at the salary. Even the salary part is not dependent on the legislature. Right? So they are not committed. Right? Got the idea? Now, if you look at the Constituent Assembly assigned a few tasks to the Supreme Court, which I have already talked about. Protection of the Indian Constitution. If Supreme Court will not protect the Indian Constitution, then who? If you look at the other two branches of the government, judiciary or executive or the legislature, both tend to limit the freedom of the people. Both tend to, reinterpret the Constitution for their own favor. The Supreme Court was given a primary task to interpret the Constitution and also to protect the fundamental rights of the people. Because without rights, we cannot say India is a democratic country. Right? Without rights, we cannot say India is a democratic country. Right? And, Supreme Court was given, of course, power to educate the law. Har jagah pe hota hai. Everywhere in the world, court has primary function to adjudicate the law. Did you get the idea of adjudicate the law? Whatever the law has been implemented, if their conflict arises, Supreme Court will look whether the law has been implemented correctly or not, as per the rules, made in the IP, penal code or not. Itna antar hai, itna hai, clear hai? Now I'll talk about appointment. Itna clear hai, Shivani, Swati? But Parliament can increase or decrease salaries, sir. Yeah, Parliament can increase or decrease, but Parliament cannot stop. Swati, Parliament can increase or decrease the salary allowances of the Parliament because Parliament has right to, declare any expenditure charged upon, right? But once it is declared, then Parliament has no right to stop the fund, as you already know. Fine. So let me talk about appointment. Appointment in the Supreme Court, which is the most controversial in the current time, right? Appointment. Now, if you look at, Article 124, Clause 2 said that the President would appoint judges with consultation of the CGI. What article says? Article 124, Clause 2 says that the President shall appoint judges in the Supreme Court. I'm writing SC, judges in the Supreme Court with consultation of the CGI, Chief Justice of India. This is the basically constitutional provision, right? So when the president shall appoint the judges, it will ask the Chief Justice of India to whom I should appoint the judges. But what if the president has to appoint Chief Justice of India? To whom president will ask? Tell me, according to the constitution.
Senior most judge.
नहीं, उस समय भी चीफ सीजीआई से ही पूछेंगे.
तो सीजीआई हो गई नहीं जब.
I am a CGI, right? I will exit and new CGI will be appointed. So the president will ask me. The president
And
will
in case
ask
of
the CGI,
and in case
CGI.
of
Yeah, go ahead.
In case of death of CGI, then to whom this president will ask?
Senior most judges, of course.
Yes.
Of course, in case of the death of the CGI, right? So since the president will ask the exiting CGI, right, for the upcoming CGI. Are you getting my point? Aman?
Yes.
Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So if I'm a CGI, right, and I will exit 1 month after, then the president will ask me who will be the, Chief Justice of India. And do you know what was the tradition? Tradition was the senior most judges was appointed as a CGI. That was the tradition. जो भी senior है, whosoever the senior most judges was there, was appointed as a CGI, and this was a tradition. This, the one tradition is developed. What happened in 1975 during emergency, right? No, 1973, not 75. First time in 1973, right? Keswanand Bharti case that goes against the government, right?
Regarding the
Basic structure. What government did? It appointed A.N. Ray. A.N. Ray was the 4th senior most judge. He was not the senior most judge, but he was the 4th senior most judge. It means the government has escaped 3 senior most judges. Judge number 1, judge number 2, judge number 3. Right? And it appointed A.N. Ray as a Chief Justice of India. Right? Now in 1975 again, during emergency, M.H. Bagh was appointed as CGI by escaping the hierarchy, right? By skipping the senior most judges of the Supreme Court. Now this controversy, whether what is the meaning of this article? If the government is autonomous, free to appoint any person as a judge, even the 4th senior most judge, then what the meaning of this article 124 clause 2, which says that the president means the council of minister shall appoint judges in the Supreme Court. इसका क्या मतलब है कि president shall appoint judges in the Supreme Court in consultation. What do you mean by this word? With consultation of the Chief Justice of India. Right? इसका क्या मतलब है? Yes, you are right, Shivani. Right? President कुछ नहीं होता है. President क्या होता है? जो Council of Minister aid देता है, Council of Minister headed by PM, जो भी aid and advice देता है, President has to appoint them. के पास तो कुछ चारा ही नहीं है. But इस आर्टिकल का क्या मतलब है? This basically was filed, in the Supreme Court. There was a constitutional bench, and that constitutional bench, in one case name is SP Gupta case, right? And Supreme Court held that the word consultation does not mean concurrence. It means president can consult the CGI But it is not that the president should be abide by the consultation. President is independent of the CGI, but they may consult the CGI, but may they work independently. This is called false judges case. Look at, this was 1980 when the Indira Gandhi government again regained the power in 1980. Right? After emergency, there was a Janata Party government. After Janata Party government, in 1980, you can see Indira Gandhi regained power. Supreme Court favored government positions. The word consultation included in Article 124 Clause 2 does not mean concurrence. Got the idea? Now later on, this case was again challenged in 1993. Right? And this time, the Supreme Court said the word consultation means concurrence. The word consultation means concurrence. It means the President shall consult the Supreme Court, Chief Justice of Supreme Court, and whatever the judgment, whatever the advice given by the judges, President shall be binding on that. Right? So it's, this judgment said that the word consultation means concurrence. It means whatever suggestion given by the Chief Justice of India shall be binding on the President. So this judgment said that there should be advice by, there is a Chief Justice plus 2, CGI plus 2. This panel will give advice to the President regarding appointment of judges. Right? This was the second judge's case. Now you here can see there is a collegium. There is a 3 people. CGI plus 2 who will give advice to the President regarding appointment of the judges. And that will be binding on the government. It was, second judge's case was in 1993. You can see in 1993 at the center there was a coalition government. There was a coalition government. There was a government was very weak at the center. Now this case was again, challenged in the Supreme Court in 1998. Right, first time in 1990, second time in 1993, third time in 1998. This time, the Supreme Court held that the word consultation means concurrence. It means the Supreme Court repeated the judgment. Right, that was given in 1993. And this time it said that the President shall consult not only CGI plus 2, but CGI plus 4. A collegium of CGI plus 4. This is called 1998. This is called third judge's case. Right? Now look at Supreme Court took a hold on the appointment of the judges. The Supreme Court hold on the appointment of the judges in 1993. Right? 1993. That was consolidated in 1998. Now the appointment of the Supreme Court, appointment in the Supreme Court is based on the collegium system. Now when NDA government, NDA government 1 headed by Vajpayee, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, this Atal Bihari Vajpayee government appointed a commission. Abhinav has asked, sir, please repeat on CGI plus 4. My connection was lost. Yes, Abhinav, I'll do that. What I said, in first time, when MH Bagh story, I hope you know, MH Bagh was appointed, then this judgment, this decision of the government was challenged in the court. In 1980, Supreme Court has said the word consultation means does not mean concurrence. But in 1993, Supreme Court said the word consultation means concurrence, right? And the president will take advice from CGI plus 2, 1993. This case was again heard in 1998. This time, Supreme Court repeated the same judgment that was given in 1993. And this time, Supreme Court said that the president shall consult a collegium of CGI plus 4, not only CGI plus 2, CGI plus 4 in 1994. Now you can see the collegium system was established. For first time, collegium system was established in 1993. Collegium means a group of few people. Collegium means group of few people, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see here 4, CGI plus 4 got power to appoint judges in the Supreme Court. Now, when NDA government came in 1999, headed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, it appointed a committee called N. Venkat Chalaiya Committee. Right? This Venkat Chalaiya Committee suggested that there should be National Judicial Appointment Commission, NJAC. There should be National Judicial Appointment Commission where there should be CGI plus 2 and plus, law minister and one eminent person. Appointed by 3 people, PM, Speaker, and Leader of Opposition in the Lok Sabha. One eminent person appointed by this PM, Speaker, and Lok Sabha. And this, National Judicial Appointment Commission consists 5 people, CGI plus 2, Law Minister, and one eminent person. This eminent person shall be selected by PM, Speaker, and Lok Sabha. And this National Judicial Appointment Commission will appoint judges in the Supreme Court. Right. Now, not rejected now. The NDA government was also weak, let me tell you. NDA government was also weak. This was criticized within the parliament. This was criticized outside the parliament. Judiciary itself criticized hugely, badly. And government dropped the idea. NDA government dropped the idea. Right. Now you know that UPA government came in 2004. Right? 2004. It was also weak government. Till 2014, UPA government did not put attention to any. Now yes, Shivani, go ahead.
So actually, I unmuted before that it is one eminent or 2 eminent persons, sir?
मुझे देखना पड़ेगा. मेरे हिसाब से 1 eminent person.
Okay.
1 eminent हो सकता है, तो मुझे देखना पड़ेगा. जब लिखवाऊंगा तो मैं देख लूंगा डेटा. Right? तो आइडिया समझिए. Now, in 2014, you all know that BJP government came into power and BJP had full majority. In 2014, BJP has full majority, right? And it was after 1984, right? It was 2014 when only one party had majority in the parliament. After 30 years, government has become very strong. Now, what government did? Government, amended 99th. Government passed 99th CAA. Government passed 99th Constitutional Amendment Act. Now, what this Constitutional Amendment Act did? Actually, it abolished collegium system and established National Judicial Appointment Commission. Right? Abolished collegium system. Now what happened? Supreme Court, the Supreme Court, held that 99th CAA is null and void. It is ultra virus to the Constitution. It is ultra virus to the Constitution because judiciary is not independent by this way, and judiciary has lost judicial review. Now, basically, Supreme Court struck down the 99th Constitutional Amendment Act. Now, collegium system was restored. Collegium system restored. Right? Now, again, look, this collegium system is appointing judges in the Supreme Court and High Court. This collegium system is appointing judges in the Supreme Court and High Court. Right? Got the idea? Yes. Now, it struck down the National Judicial Appointment Commission, struck down the 99th Constitutional Amendment Act, and restored the collegium system. Right? One point that is very important here, the Supreme Court said he just develop a MOP, Member of Procedures, Memorandum of Procedures. Like, see, if collegium system will appoint the judges, then there should be some procedures, right? There should be some procedures, and that procedure will come from the government. Now, let me tell you, till today, the government has not made, memorandum of procedures on clearly. Now, collegium system is appointing judges. Now, you know that judiciary is blamed, very corrupt, very nepotism, right? Partly, yeah, is this true? Right? And Supreme Court, the government is attacking Supreme Court again and again that, the Supreme Court has invalidated 99 CAA, which was not good. Supreme Court has freezed the sovereignty of Parliament. This, the fight between the Supreme Court and government is going on who will appoint. Until Supreme Court is appointing, but government want their own, member in order to appoint the judges. This is the basic story on appointment of judges in the Supreme Court. Got the idea? Priya, Swati, Avinav, Aman? Yes. Clear hai? Yes. Yeah. So I will not dictate. I'll dictate tomorrow. This entire dictation will go tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll not, explain. Just I'll come and start dictation on appointment. Right? I had explained today. Okay, Aman? Yes. Any doubt if you have, you can ask. Swati, Priya. Yes, Swati, go ahead.
Sir, I have a doubt in Parliament, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, on disqualification, member will be disqualified if he is appointed to 2 seats in a Parliament. So if one member is appointed to 2 Lok Sabha seats and he has to choose any one, no, sir. So what will happen to the other seat, sir?
There will be by-election on that other seat.
There will be a by-election.
By-election to the vacated seat, yeah. If, for example, Modi ji was contested from Gujarat also, and he was contested from UP also, and at both places he won, right? Okay. So within few days, I think 10 days is the timeline. Within 10 days, he has to inform the Election Commission to which seat he wants to continue, right? The other seats automatically will vacate it, right? And there shall be by-election in that on that seat.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Any more? Yes,
And
Shivani, go ahead. Yeah, Swati, go ahead. Go ahead. Swati, let's Swati first clear. Yeah.
So one more thing, I have a doubt in Lakshmikant, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
In page number 22.24.
22.24, right?
Yes, sir.
2324, yeah, go ahead.
In financial bills, I couldn't understand the line from in the bracket, sir. It's 1, 2, 3.
Unequal status with the Lok Sabha, are you talking about?
No, sir. 22.24. It is financial bills 1.
There is except that amendment other than for reduction or abolition of the tax.
24.24, and then?
And there is a like bracket, no, sir. It's
Read the bracket.
Except that an amendment other than for reduction or abolition of a tax cannot be moved in either of the house without the recommendation of the president. That is, the recommendation of president is not required for moving an amendment making provision for the reduction or abolition of a tax.
Yeah.
What does it mean, sir? I couldn't understand that.
Okay. Let me read it and then let me clarify tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, don't do hurry. It is a financial bill 1. I taught you financial bill 1 and financial bill 2, right? Financial bill 1 is treated as similar as money bill.
Yes, sir.
So let me read it in context and then we'll tell you tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Shivani,
Thank you.
आपने जो सवाल पूछा था ना, a member cannot withdraw resolution except leave of the house. Yani, if leave has right to drop the resolution, but member cannot withdraw.
So can we say that until or unless it is not leave of the house, resolution cannot be withdrawn, right?
Withdrawn. Yes, you're right.
Okay. So Swati, have you done? So can I ask?
Yeah. I hope Swati is done. Yeah. Go ahead, Shivani.
So, sir, first doubt is the same what Swati is asked, that that you will tell tomorrow, right?
हाँ, उसको तो मैं कल बताऊंगा. It's better,
yes.
Yeah.
Because it is opposite sentences, sir. मतलब एक में ये बोल रहा है प्रेसिडेंट के अपॉइंटमेंट के बिना टैक्स एडिट नहीं हो सकता और एक तरफ बोल रहा है कि हो जाएगा. And sir, second is
बताऊंगा. हाँ.
Yes, sir. And sir, can you see in the same page that financial bill 2?
I thought kuch aur. Yeah, wait. Financial bill 2, 22.24 na?
Right, sir.
$22.4, right? No.
Yes.
No.
22.24.
Acha, 24. Yeah. 1 minute. 24 financial bill 2. Yes. Go ahead.
So, sir, financial bill 2 is the same like ordinary bill, right?
It is.
Yes. And sir, see the line 7th, that the only special feature of this bill that it cannot be passed by either house or the parliament unless the president has recommended to that house the consideration of the bill. So, sir, please read the financial bill 1 and financial bill 2. It is is opposite sentence. So,
the only special feature of the bill is that it cannot be passed by either of the house unless president has recommended to that house the consideration of the bill.
And the financial bill 2 mein president ka consideration is prior.
Financial bill can be introduced in the either of the house of the parliament and recommendation of the president is not necessary for its introduction. कल ही बताऊं इसको भी.
Bilkul, sir. And sir, next, yes, sir. And next, sir, you can see in the joint sitting. So I have 2 doubts in joint sitting, sir. Let's say, Yes, and let's say, sir, there is Constitution Amendment Bill, and so for this, is there any joint sitting provision or not?
No. For CAB and Money Bill, Constitutional Amendment Bill and Money Bill, MB, CAB और MB के लिए joint sitting नहीं होता है.
Yes. So, sir, if
joint
Lok
sitting,
Sabha
not joint.
passed the joint sitting, what if Rajya Sabha rejected?
See, what happens in joint sitting, there are, altogether we count 543 plus 245. कितना हो गया total? 8, 7, right? And we take majority of this 7, 8, 8.
Yes,
right?
yes.
ठीक है, तो वो यहाँ का मेजोरिटी लेते हैं. यहाँ राज्यसभा का गिनते ही नहीं है, राज्यसभा लोकसभा. यहाँ पर ज्वाइंट सीटिंग मतलब ज्वाइंट सीटिंग. दिस इज टोटल. अब हो सकता है 7, 8, 8 में 700 has made present and voted, or maybe 600 may have presented and voted. So it is taken majority of this.
Sir, joint sitting तभी होगा जब deadlock होगा, right?
Of course, joint sitting is
so
a
यदि
special measures, and wherever there is a deadlock between the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, then there is joint sitting. Yes.
And if Lok Sabha passed the bill and Rajya Sabha rejected the bill, there is no provision for Constitution Amendment Bill, right? For joint sitting. So will it bill reject हो जाएगा? Means will फिर
of course, there will be no amendment at all.
Yes.
There will
And
be no
sir,
amendment.
in Lakshmi Kant, it is last line. Yes, sir. You can also tell tomorrow that in reckoning the period of 6 months, no account can be taken of any period during which the other house to which the bill has been and is prorogued to adjournment or for more than 4 consecutive days. So I didn't get the line. Meaning of this line.
अच्छा, क्या होता है कि कोई भी बिल पेंडिंग है, मान लीजिए, if there is an ordinary bill, right, it is pending in the parliament for the 6 consecutive months, right, then it is called there is a deadlock. But in that 6 month, this, if the house is consecutively prorogued 4 or more days, that is not counted. अगर 4 दिन या 4 से ज्यादा दिन तक बंद है, तो that days will not be counted in 6 months. Shivani.
Okay, so it is a leave of the house.
हाँ. अगर वो 4 दिन या 4 से ज्यादा दिन तक बंद है, if house is adjourned till 4 or more days, that days will not be counted in the 6 month, entire 6 month.
So sir, it is adjournment, and what here it is also written that prorogued. So
what is prorogation? Prorogation is what is prorogation? Prorogation is a notification by the president of the adjournment.
House, yes. तो ये फिर भी रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा?
नहीं, वो डे काउंट नहीं होगा 6 मंथ में.
ओके,
ठीक है.
तो जब न्यू सेशन स्टार्ट होगा तो वो सेम प्रोसीजर फिर से उनका
हाँ 6 महीने काउंट होगा. बिल्कुल.
ओके सर, गॉट इट.
चलो, any more question can you ask tomorrow, Shivani?
No sir, I am done.
Yeah, okay, then see you tomorrow.